Water supply. I cut my teeth agriculturally really 56 years ago on irrigation. Hopefully most of you are too young to remember, but when we started center pivot sprinkler irrigation, we sprayed water up in the air with the idea that it would settle to the ground and irrigate our crops. Can you think of anything more stupid than that? Well, I couldn't, and I started railing against it back in 1959, saying this is insane. I mean, the idea of the center pivot was cool, but the idea of spraying it up in the air was crazy. And so I worked with lots of people, and we brought in drip irrigation, which made a lot more sense. Now, the only resource, by the way, all of the people that spoke before me alluded to this. What is clearly the most important resource that we have on this planet? I heard water. Human capital. Brain power. Our most important resource is between our ears. And all the people, all the doomsayers, they just assume we're going to run out of this, we're going to run out of that. And one thing to remember, to make my point here, before I go back to water, is we did not go from the Stone Age to the Steel Age because we ran out of stones. Okay? Our brain power develops replacements long before we run out of anything. The only resource that tends to be limited is water. We basically have the same amount of water that we started with. So it is dear, and we do have to conserve it. And we've learned, my God, if you live around the Ogallala Formation, I cut my teeth on the Ogallala that runs, from Nebraska down to Texas. They said it would be dry by now. Well, it's not at all dry. There's still plenty left. We've learned how to conserve, how to irrigate, how to handle water better, but it's still our dearest resource. But I'll just give you a tip that you'll see happen in the next number of years. The only science that has not advanced in 100 years is that of water location. We locate water and drill wells the same way today as we did 100 years ago. There's nothing else you can think of that hasn't changed in 100 years. And the reason for that is water has no value. Essentially, we give it away. Therefore, it was not worth spending a lot of money to develop water when you couldn't get the money back. That is going to change in the next 5 years. This is a futurist trend. You can take it to the bank, but it'll be a few years. The advent of fracking for natural gas, which requires so much water, is causing companies in the energy business to utilize mineral and petroleum exploration technology to locate water at greater depth in fractures than we have found before. So you're going to see some advances in the availability of water in the coming years as a result of the money being spent to develop water for fracking. But it will still always be in shorter supply than any other resource on Earth, and we're getting better at it. We've learned to irrigate better. We've learned to understand the cycle of plants, when they need the water, when they don't need the water, and biotechnology developing seeds that require less water.